Let's start the show off with y'all. Sunday night, Ravens defeat the Chargers 20-10. Lamar Jackson completed 18 passes for 177 yards and a touchdown. Justin Herbert 29 completions, 217 yards, touchdown in the pick. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, start off. I'll start. Good win. Good W. You always want it's tough to win in the road in the NFL. You know, especially against a team that has a quarterback, a competent quarterback anyway. But not too much of a competent coach, and we'll get there. But yeah, good win. You did what you had to do. You stayed poised. It was setting up like any other Ravens game that we've seen going to the fourth quarter, 13-3, a two possession lead. And we with your coach doing all type of bullshit. So we saw this narrative before. We saw how the story end. So shout out to the defense, to stay poised. Shout out to the offense to finish the game off the way they did. My main takeaways from the game, and it's hardball, man. You can't, like, I've been saying this for weeks. I've been saying this for years. I really think that he took the Ravens as far as his coaching ability. He's coached at his peak. It's not going. He can't do no more with this team. He can't. Like, you could tell last night where it was like he was sleeping at the wheel. It was like he was back. He had self-imposed suspension like his brother did or some shit. Who knows? But he wasn't there. He wasn't there at the beginning. He wasn't there at the end. He wasn't there in the middle. He was just never there. So it's tough when you got to win in spite of your head coach. When your head coach should be doing everything to give you competitive advantages. You got a team where you winning the turnover differential 4-0 and you win a 3-point game. That's coaching. That's not not only the head coach. That's offensive play calling too. Not knowing down and distance, not knowing running the right sequence of plays, picking up 5 yards on 1st and 10 and then throwing the ball on 2nd and 5 and throwing the ball on 3rd and 5. It didn't make sense. And it stems from John Harbaugh because he can hear all these calls in the headphones. He can hear everything. He can veto these calls. I'm sure he can veto these calls. And simple. Once the game got to a certain point, it became a clock game, and that's one of John Harbaugh's worst suits. So it wasn't going to sit well, and it did sit well. The fact that you did what you did at the end of the half, giving him an extra, like, it just his coaching yesterday was it embodies what we've been saying about John Harbaugh for a long time. Is not there, and Moncton, he's new. Moncton has been there, but I just need him to get better with the sequence and the plays. You can't, like I said, that. I guess I don't know who the package. I guess the packaging or who plays the depth chart. That's coaching. But Tog Moncton calls plays, so we shouldn't be doing 4th and 1 wildcats to Gus. We shouldn't be running goal line plays with Justin. That stems from the coaching. And if Harbaugh is employing these people, employing Tog Moncton, it has to get better. You can't be, the Ravens completely dominated the game. And to win that game the way they did, had to win the game the way they did, it's ridiculous. And we've been saying this for years now. For seasons now, Harbaugh is the weakest link to this team. But shout out to the defense, man. You can't say nothing else about this defense. As far as that performance yesterday, they played their ass off. Like I said, Keenan had his 10 catches. He did what he had to do. Only thing that was good for was receptions on ticket purposes. It ain't really had no big imprint on the game. So shout out to them. Shout out to the defensive game plan. Yeah, shout out to the defensive game plan. It was good to see. They took away the best weapons. They took away Eckler. And they made Herbert, for all intents and purposes, they made Herbert beat him, and he couldn't do it. So shout out to them. But yeah, my biggest takeaway from this game is Harbaugh, man. He was trash last night. It was probably the worst we've seen of him for
real. Well, I got a little different point of view. I agree with the points Keys laid out. I don't think it's as important as a lot of the fan base has tried to make it. I think what we're underselling is the loss of Mark Andrews and having to atone for that. So we're talking about, like, situational plays, 4th and 1. Usually 4th and 1, the first read is going to be Mark Andrews if we're going to throw the ball. So I can understand why we might have done some shit we usually never do, like seeing Gus Edwards in a Wildcat. Me personally, probably would have never had that in my playbook. But at the same token, we're pulling from the hat because we don't have a full complement of what we're playing for in the 4th and 1, 4th and short type of situation. When you don't have your number one target, the whole offense has to change. And I think on the in the circumstances that we were in, having to go on the road, having to go to LA, having to play a competent quarterback, having to do all this while not having your number one tight end, having Zay Flowers and Odell miss practice throughout the week, having Bateman miss a practice. I think we did a great job just going there and getting a win. You know, it didn't have to be pretty. I think we're doing a lot of nitpicking, you know, considering the fact we had 5 straight games with 30 points or more scored. We didn't score 30 today. I mean, last night. I mean, you know, whatever. We won. You know, it wasn't an impressive win, but I think it was the most important win of the season. Being able to go 9-3, being able to go in the bye week, semi-healthy, number one in the AFC, beating the team like the Chargers, who, you know, the way we did it was, wasn't impressive, but the fact that they have 99 problems, scoring points wasn't one of them, and they were able to. The Ravens were able to stifle the Chargers and their offense. Were able to get to Justin Herbert early. You know, I mentioned that was one of the keys to the game was, you know, making him uncomfortable in the pocket, but also atoning for the short passing game, because we knew Eckler was going to be involved as a receiver. We knew Kane Allen was going to be doing a lot of underneath routes, trying to get the ball out quick to him. And I think we did a good job, you know, D-line and linebackers of kind of neutralizing their biggest weapons and, you know, just making it a game in which it was tough on them to put up points on the board. Now, on the flip side, do I think we were playing with our food? Yes. Do I think the game should have probably been a larger margin of victory? Yeah. But, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think the main goal was the main goal, and we won the game. It didn't matter how it looked. And we get to go in this bye week, regroup, figure out how we're going to move around Mark. I mean, the shoulder injury we don't talk about for Odell, but he started off hot. But, you know, as the game went on, he's playing less and less snaps because, you know, he has this nagging injury. Let him get healthy and let's see where we at. You know, I like the fact that our offense was wide receiver centric. You know what I mean? Zay was getting involved early and often. Bateman had a couple first downs in the first half. Odell started off hot. Likely had a few balls thrown to him. Keaton Mitchell got the start and got a majority of the snaps. I like seeing that. You know, Keaton Mitchell, he has to grow into a pass blocker. Once he gets pass blocking down and he's able to, we're able to trust him on third downs to keep Lamar healthy, keep him upright, and he can play 70 to 85% of the snaps. Yo, we out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a game that in the past we would have lost. And when I say in the past, like a couple weeks ago, you know what I mean? We didn't lose a game that we typically lose. I can't even be upset about it. You know what I mean? I thought, shit, man. It was like the last 3 minutes, I was like, all right, this is going to be another one of them games where we got to come into the show, scold, Steelers, get a win. I got to hear these niggas' mouth. Like, I really wasn't looking forward to it. I'm telling you I wasn't, but Ravens surprised me. We got the win. I ain't got nothing to say. You know, let's go to bye week and let's keep sharpening the swords and keep, you know, it's a long journey.
Yeah, for me, I'm happy. You make it all the way to week 12. This is about as late of a bye as you can get. To go into that 9-3, knowing what lies on the other side of the bye, the Rams, the Jags, 49ers, Dolphins, Steelers. This is the perfect time to get rest. Before you hit into that 5-game stretch, which will ultimately determine how you finish the season. For me, though, last night defensively, once again, 4 forced turnovers. And I think that kind of plays into what Nick said, playing with your food, because we didn't really capitalize off any of those turnovers. And so that's got to be something that we got to do better down the stretch, especially as we play a upper echelon type of talent teams. We got to be able to capitalize off these turnovers and really make them stick. I don't think we did that to the Chargers last night. I think we left them in the game. Obviously, it's a 3-point game with under 2 minutes left on third down until Zay breaks that long run. I think Nick just alluded to it. I talked about it last week, though. The only game this season without Mark Andrews was the Texans game, and Zay led the team in targets that game. He did it again yesterday, led the team in targets. So, like Nick said, with the subtraction of Mark, you're going to see this offense really be wide receiver focused. You did see Likely step in last night, 4 catches for 40 yards. That's the type of production you want to see, I guess. But I think it still goes back to what Nick said. Lamar doesn't have that safety blanket anymore, and so they're going to have to figure it out over the bye and going into the Rams game, just how to get them more comfortable in them short down situations, because we weren't good at all in those short down situations last night, and we got to be better with those down the stretch. But I'm happy, man. 9-3 into the bye, top of the AFC. This is kind of where we've been the last 2 years. We just went into that stretch without Lamar. Now we have our quarterback, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like now.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned. Go ahead, Scott. My bad.
No, I just was going to ask 9-3 going into the bye relatively healthy. Just looking towards the playoffs. The one glaring flaw y'all have, that offensive line. Now, Lamar was escaping. He made some crazy plays with his legs. You expect that. But is the line so much of a flaw that it'll stop you in your minds from getting to the ultimate goal? Yes. Are they that bad?
They are. No? If you play like you played last night against the Chargers, you're gonna lose against better teams. Like it don't have to be, and I agree with everything you're saying, but it don't have to be pretty. You can be happy. Everybody can be that. But if you play against the Chiefs with that, keep the 3 and outs after you get a turnover, you're playing against the Jaguars, you're playing against the 49ers, you will get your ass beat. Like they better be lucky they was playing the Chargers at Brandon Staley last night. That's not the product that you happy with the win, you 9-3, but that's not the product you're going to put on the field if you're trying to contend for Super Bowls. So the offensive line is too bad. You can't win. You're not going to win our championship with the offensive line. It got to be shored up, and that starts with probably benching Ronnie Stanley until he get healthy.
Yeah, we're not the only contender with a suspect O line, and we have a D line of our own that can get to quarterbacks the same way people can get to Lamar. The only difference is a lot of people don't have a Lamar. And Keys already mentioned it. One of the fixes is starting McCarry and sitting Ronnie Stanley's ass down. That's an easy fix. McCarry has played better than Ronnie Stanley. We don't be talking about the O-line as much when Ronnie Stanley doesn't play. You know what I mean? I don't mind moving on from Moses either. I didn't seem to be talking so much. I mean, yeah, the offensive line hasn't been perfect, but I mean, what team is perfect all around the board? As long as Lamar is cognizant of the pressure and is able to keep moving and being smart about his movements, I think his clock needs to increase or get quicker, I should say. Because, again, we still see at least once or twice every week he's sitting in the pocket with the ball hanging out and somebody swatting at it and he's fumbling. You know what I mean? He has to process he knows these people can't block. He knows he don't got 5-6 seconds to, you know what I mean, to move his feet and do what he needs to do. Once you get that instinct that pressure's coming, do what you do, Lamar. And I mean, what I saw last night is he was turning a lot of nothing into something. And that's what I expect from my $200 million quarterback.
I agree with that. But the game and we both know we watch a lot of football. It gets small in the playoffs. It's not going to be too much of that. The game gets small. There's less possessions. There's going to be less chances for him to do that. So that one sack fumble, because Ronnie Stanley can protect somebody, might be the difference in the game. In the playoffs with a regular season, you probably can get another couple possessions. It's more manageable. It's better coach games. I'm just fit. Like I saw him running towards life way too much last night. Way too much. I'm
not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. But I would put that less on the O line, because going into the game, you know what it is with the O line. I'm putting that on my MVP. You got to stop holding the ball out there, because you ain't the only quarterback that's ever been sacked.
He do hold the ball. I agree. He hold the ball in way too.
This quarterback's getting sacked every game, every week. Nigga, you the one fumbling every week.
He is holding the ball too long. Definitely doing that.
But again, like we got a lot of stuff to work on, but that's why I'm excited.
But it's we're
not perfect, and we here.
Right. And it's a good play. I mean, like if you're 9-3 and you nitpicking little shit, you in a good place. If you can't find nothing big to bitch about and you just nitpicking this, that, and that, you in a good place. You definitely in a good place.
We could be talking about drafting a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
We could be talking about firing some coaches, even though we still want to fire Harbs. You know what I'm saying? Or replace Harbs. That fire is a harsh term, right? It sounds so negative. We would like to promote
relieve him of his duties.
Relieve him of his duties. Would you like to be in the front office, sir? You earned it.
Yeah. Mutually part ways. Come up to the front office, you know.
Yo, but Mike McDaniel, he don't need to go nowhere. His place is right
saying
here.
For a minute, he should be the coach in waiting, man.
How long you been there? 2 years? This is second year? He's out of there. He's out of there.
I know.
He's out of there. Top defense. I mean,
he's out of there. He's gone.
I think
Harbaugh
Harbaugh's
gonna
got
be
to
the last man standing.
if you really a leader,
He's
man,
gone.
Harbaugh, you gotta sit down and say this team needs Mike McDaniel going forward, not me.
The
Make
only
the
way that
sacrifice
happens,
yourself.
what would have to happen for that to happen? Because if we make it to the AFC Championship, Scotty ain't gonna step like that, even though he
Yeah,
should.
you know how ego driven Harbaugh's are. He ain't stepping aside. What?
Not for
ain't
that.
never happening. Not for that. Like
Nah,
that
hell
ain't
no.
happening. Like they had to be fired or removed.
You told me if
Hopefully-
I hired him, I wouldn't have to worry about him replacing me. I would have just hired
Right.
somebody lesser.
Right. I would have got a bigger name for all of that. Nah, hell no. You're not
Yeah.
replacing me with him.
Why you think I
Like
got
Greg
Todd
Roman, Coach
Monken? I didn't want
Pitt.
Bieniemy. Never mind.
Right. Exactly.
Pretty
But
good.
talk about the touch on the Chargers real quick. Them coming out in that first possession with 12 minutes in the field is the reason why Brandon Staley should not be a head coach. Like that was pretty ridiculous. Like that
was it their first play of the game?
the first play of the game on defense. They came out with 12
Defense for
people.
them?
Mhm.
Yeah. Had to take a
Came out
time
with 12
out.
people had to take time out. That's the reason why he shouldn't be the head coach. Like shit like that. There's other little things in the game where he just no feel for the game. He literally. I'm content. I'm on that. Maybe I'm on the island by myself. But if it wasn't Brandon Staley, I don't think John Harbaugh pulls that one out last night. That's how I feel.
He got John Harbaugh got out coached.
He got out coached. Yeah, I was about to say.
And
That's
Brandon exactly.
And
So if it was a
that's
better
saying a
coach,
lot.
if it was even a better coach than Brandon Staley, and Brandon Staley still did a lot of dumb shit. Still did a lot of going forward when he shouldn't have went forward and just doing a lot of dumb shit. But yeah, he needs to go, yo.
Do
Because
they
like
care
you
about
said-
Justin Herbert? My bad.
No.
Keith.
No, they don't.
No, hell no.
No.
What was you
I mean,
saying?
he let him play with a broken finger. I mean, why, let him play with a broken. I mean, he's tough. He could play, but the way they was talking about it, that shit was really had ligament damage.
Bro can't even brace his falls when he gets sacked.
That's what I'm saying.
Yo can't put his left hand out because his left hand broke.
Shit, didn't they make him play with broke ribs last year?
Yes.
Because what's the other
That was
option?
Tyrod.
Nah, they almost killed him. That's how we ended
he
up
almost
seeing.
killed Tyrod, but
Yeah, that's how we ended
another
up
one.
seeing Justin
They
actually.
made both of them play with the broken ribs.
But he broke his
Herbert
ribs.
got broke ribs the first game or second game of the season last year.
Against the Chiefs last year, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. Yeah,
Yep.
they were, and he dealt with that up until like week 10, 11
Ain't
before he
complaining,
got
he just
right.
played.
No.
Yeah.
But Keys make a good point though, because from a coaching standpoint, you look at early in the game where Lamar scrambles, gets out of it. I think it was like 3rd and 3 or something. And he looks like he gets the first. He did get the first down. They call it short.
Mhm.
Then you run the Wildcat. That's a lost possession. Same thing with Aguilar. He's short, and then I think he kicked a field goal and Tuck and
Oh
missed.
my God.
But those are two times you had an opportunity to extend drives for your football team. You elected not to challenge the play, and the ensuing play, you turned the ball over. So you just can't have those empty possessions against higher quality teams. It's just not going to work, especially as we head into December and January.
And I know you want to talk on say something about Tucker, Nick. I just I don't get Harbaugh logic sometimes, like because like I said, like you just said, you go for it for 4th and 1, right? You know, in the first half, and you don't get it instead of taking the points to extend your lead. But then with the game on the line in the 4th quarter, you kick the field goal instead of getting 2 yards and the game is over with. You don't got to do anything. They can't get the ball back. So I just don't. You're aggressive in the first half, but then you're conservative in the second half. He's been like that his whole career. You got to be one way and stick with that shit. You can't. Like I could send you take the points in the first half, and then it takes the question out of what you gotta do in the second half. Because now instead of kicking the field goal for 6, you kicking the field goal to go up to 9. Who knows how the rest of the game will went? But if it did go the way it went, you're kicking the field goal to go up 9 instead of going up 6. So you're hurting yourself by trying to be aggressive. When you, like you said, when you should have challenged the call, even if you're going to be aggressive, at least challenge it. You know, to try to get the first down. But you don't do neither. You rush it. You run that play. You got your $200 million quarterback standing on the side. And granted, I know Mark not there, but I just don't get it. It was
This is where I'll join you in criticism with of Monken situationally. I mean, 3rd and 3 after Keaton Mitchell gives you a 6-yard run on 2nd and 9, you take him out the game and you bring in Justice Hill and you run it up the middle on a draw play. There has to be something creative in your bag on 3rd and 3 to put the game away, because even if you don't get it, it's a field goal opportunity, right? Why are we doing draws to Justice Hill?
Better yet, just leave the kid in the football game.
If you want to run the ball, do that.
Yeah, if you're gonna run the ball.
And then let's talk about Tucker, because I'm tired of holding my tongue about it. And it's not to put him down, bro. He's the greatest kicker of all time. There's nobody greater. But this season, he hasn't been that guy. who we are accustomed to. And if he's not that guy, if we can't trust him to hit a 44-yard field goal in perfect weather conditions in a fucking dome,
a dome.
Excuse me, I'm sorry if I'm a little worried. I'm not used to him doing this shit. And this is for the game. This is to ice a game away. I'm sorry. We got to talk about it. Yo, I don't want it. I wish it wasn't true. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, man. Because it almost cost us the game. Once he missed that kick and you giving the ball to LA with 2 minutes and 57 seconds left, I'm a little scared.
Damn near midfield at that.
I was already trying to think about my defense against Scup. 2 minutes and 57 seconds left. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? He's gonna come on here and talk about how we gave up a fourth quarter. Brandon Staley. I'm like, yo, Justin Tucker, don't do me like that
Cancel
ever
the show again.
Another one.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
keep
be
canceling.
I got the flu, baby.
Just keep canceling until after the bye week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Y'all did that the COVID year to us.
But I mean, listen, man. We gotta get better. We got to keep getting better because no keys. This isn't championship level performance at all. And there's teams that are showing the Eagles. They're showing championship level grit, but even they haven't played a perfect game. That's why I can't be too hard on us because nobody's playing perfect right now. I think come playoff time, to your point, that margin of error, everybody's margin of error decreases. It's going to be about who's the most disciplined, who's the most well coached, and
that's what I'm saying. You see my point. We on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the well coached. Like,
oh man,
what Thomas say? Pissing down his leg, pissing down your leg with the game on the line.
Yeah, dog. They're gonna blow that shit up in the fourth quarter. They're gonna blow it up.
No, he almost did.
We've had a lead every fourth in 12 straight games going into the fourth quarter.
I mean, if you looked at the playoff picture today, outside of Kevin Stefanski and maybe who the coach now?
Shane
Steichen. Yeah.
I mean, is Harbaugh probably the fifth best coach in the playoffs right now? I mean, he's behind Andy Reid. Would you put him behind Peterson in Jacksonville?
They too.
I wouldn't. I'll put him beside him.
No.
I put him behind him.
Equal.
I put him behind him.
Behind him or equal.
Yeah. Putting him behind Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm putting him behind Mike McDaniel. So he the fifth best coach.
I'm putting him behind any coach that calls his own plays.
He's behind Stefanski then.
He got to be behind. Yeah.
Because Doug Peterson knows.
I mean, Steichen called the plays for them too, don't he?
And get him the ball.
He called the play for the Eagles.
So he the worst coach right now. The playoffs ended today, is what you're saying. We're going into the playoffs as the worst.
Let's go back to what Keys said. He doesn't want to see Harbaugh influencing play calls. Or no, he said Harbaugh should pivot. Did any of y'all see Harbaugh with a play call sheet in his hand yesterday? I don't know how I feel about that. I saw him with a play call sheet yelling into a microphone.
What you looking at?
Whoa, what you?
I just need what you looking at.
Unless that shit says field goal block, I need you to relax.
Right.
That's all I need Harbaugh to say is run only. This is a run only drive. That's all I need him to say.
Kick left, kick middle, kick
run
right.
Only drive.
Or take this person out of the game, put this person in the game.
Exactly.
Anything
else?
Ryan
Keaton, like as a head coach, you should be like Ryan Keaton, Rod Odell. I don't think Harbaugh knows how to do that.
Can I just get him to challenge when he's supposed to? Can we do that? Can we work on
Well, the thing is, if you're not
then
calling
you challenge,
plays,
then you challenge the backwards pass. You challenge the backwards pass. Like, come on.
He did challenge that. He did.
Yo, dude, you do that. Like, come on, man.
Hold on. What did he say?
And then he had a wild quote for it.
Harbaugh said they reviewed the challenges and non-challenges for last night, and he feels like they did the right thing. He said team wouldn't have won that challenge on Lamar run, and on Aguilar, they felt like it was a first down and play like it was. But it wasn't a first down.
They would. Terry McCauley got on the show and said they would have won the Lamar challenge. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was a first down.
He's the head of referees.
How do you say I called a play like it was a first down, but the marker on the field didn't say first down? Throw the flag.
And if you think it's a first down, why not get clarification before you can call the ref over there and say, "What the fuck?"
You're the coach. Like, you're not a fan. You're not.
What down is this? Let's get this down straight.
You know what tripped me out about the first one, Nick? Though he got out there and they rushed to the line. Just call the timeout and say, "All right, let's look at the replay. We can throw the flag." They rushed to the line and let Gus Edwards run a wildcat play.
Now you want to rush to the line. Now you want to go no under. Go figure.
Now you got pace.
Now you're making Talk Month look bad. That's all that was. That's what that is. Harbaugh making Monkney look bad because Monkney wouldn't have had to run that play. That was ridiculous. I don't ever want to see Gus Edwards in a Wildcat ever again, yo. That's the last time I want to see that.
We got the most agile quarterback in the NFL. I want the ball in his hands on any 4th and 1. I don't care if it's a touch push or I want the ball in 8's hands. I don't want the ball in Gus' hands, respectfully. Not in the Wildcat.
Honestly, I'll be the one to bring it up about Gus. He has a career low yards per carry. He hasn't been explosive this year.
He is ceiling.
I'm not talking about 70-yard runs, but he used to get consistent 15-yard gains, 7, 9-yard gashes.
It might be the injury, though. It might be the injury coming off back from the injury.
And I don't doubt that. But this dream we have of Gus Bus, I like him in the short yardage. I like him in the red zone. But Keaton Mitchell, he gives us that pop. And when you add his 4.2 with Lamar's 4.3,
I like what saying, yo.
And bringing Zay in motion, all
that.
Like
7.1
and you had Zay's shiftiness. Yeah, I like all of that.
Keaton had 7.1 a carry last night, yo, on 9 carries. Like he should, at this point, Keaton should be touching the ball over 10 times a game.
Easy.
Like whether it's in the rushing game, screens, quick passes.
He remind me of Jalen Warren.
Touching the ball,
he literally reminds me of Jalen Warren, yo. He reminds me of him. Like they need to touch the ball
13
all the
15
time.
times.
They need to touch the ball like all the time. All that big back, whatever you've been here. No, you're not nicer than this person. Sit down somewhere.
Keaton Warren, Keaton Rice, whatever you want to call him.
Najee had a good game yesterday. We'll get to it, but I want to like get him the ball. I don't need other people touch the ball.
Man, Gus ain't Najee.
You said what?
Gus ain't Najee. Shouldn't be a hard decision at all. That shouldn't be a hard decision at all.
But Najee ain't. Don't make it sound like it's such a big. It's such a big. It's tiny. It's a small difference though. It's a small.
I give you that one. You're right.
I give you that one.
I was about to say,
we're gonna argue about Gus and Najee.
We're gonna argue about Gus and Najee.
I feel you. You beat Jake Brown, and hey, you confident, right? Feel good, baby. It's Jake. You beat Jake.
Let's talk about it. Let's fucking talk about it. We beat Lamar too. Hey, first of all, before we get to this game, Matt Canada got fired in the middle of the fucking week. Man, people know I hate Matt Canada so fucking much. They came up to me at work and was like, yo, did you see what happened?
Did I see?
Yo, I'm like,
That's
what?
Crazy.
I'm like, what? Like, man, Matt Canada got fired. Man, let's fucking go. I was clicking my fucking heels. I ain't jumped that high in so long. It's happy as hell. It's happy as shit. It had to be done. And of course, Pittsburgh media can make who made the decision? Who gives a fuck? I'm gonna just put it to you plain simple. Who cares? I don't care if Art did it, Dan did it, the nigga who bought it that's dead did it,
Deontay,
Mike did,
Kenny.
I don't care who did it. Somebody had the balls to say, yo, you gotta fucking go. I want to thank Cleveland. Cleveland, thank you.
Hey,
because this is yes, sir.
Nah, go ahead. You got it.
No, I was just gonna say I want to thank Cleveland because it's because of y'all. It's because of y'all. Yeah. I see him.
No, I just wanted to bring up the Najee Gus thing before you got to your game.
Who cares?
You said y'all.
Oh, you about to stat me to death? You about to stat me to death?
I mean, you love stats. You just said that Najee was better, but you said Najee was better. I just had to.
About to start. Go ahead.
The stats are rarely. I mean,
what?
Najee got 143 carries for 598 yards, 4 touchdowns.
You talking about
this year? This year, 4 touchdowns, 4.2 per carry.
All right.
Gus got 141 for 590, 10 touchdowns, 4.2 per carry. So I don't think Najee's better. I think they're more similar. And I'm not even going to put the touchdowns because Gus
give me career totals. Don't give me career totals. Has Gus ever gone?